You already know who it is, man. It's your boy Underrated Mage. And today I'll be doing a video discussing why you should want a new fairy tale series. Now, whenever I make a video discussing a new fairy tale series, there's always people in the comment section that are always like, yes, thank you, you're giving me hope, thank you for giving me news, all this other stuff, which I actually like those comments. Those comments are very supportive, I like that. I enjoy those comments. However, there's always the other side. There's the flip side, there's always good and there's evil. There's always the people saying stuff like, oh my god, just let fairy tale end. Fairy tale's done. Stop talking about it. All this, that, and the third. They're always like, yo, just stop, just stop, just stop. But today I'm gonna be doing a video trying to persuade the people who are on the side of saying why that fairy tale's done, just let it rest, why they should actually be wanting a new fairy tale series. Now, this video, let me do a disclaimer, this video is not for the haters. Like, if you're somebody who actually just hates fairy tales, like, stop talking about it, then this isn't for you. Because let's be honest, I'm not gonna be able to persuade somebody who hates a series why it should be able to come back. This is for the people who actually like fairy tale, but since it's over, they're like, okay, stop talking about it, it's over, and all this other stuff. They missed the series, but they just want it to be over with. But today I'll be doing a video discussing why if you are one of those people who fall into those categories, why you should want a new fairy tale series. Now, plain and simple, number one, the story is unfinished. Now, let's be honest, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the fairy tale story has been left open. It has been left unfinished. I mean, yeah, technically we did have an ending, but let's be honest, there's so many questions, there's so many mysteries that we still have about fairy tale, even though it's over. And I mean, usually this is kind of common within a series, but with fairy tale, it's like it's just wasn't meant to be finished. I mean, number one, the biggest thing about the story that's unfinished is Natsu's bucket list. We seen at the beginning of the war arc, well, really the pre-war arc, we saw Natsu and Happy before they went to war. They was like, yeah, we're not gonna die. I got a lot to do on this bucket list. What is his bucket list? Like, this is the main character, Natsu, saying that he has something to do on it, that he has a lot to do on his bucket list. And the fact that it ended and we didn't even get to see him at least go on his own little separate adventure, like, they were hyping this up to be something crazy. Like, they were basically saying that Natsu's gonna go on his own little separate adventure with Happy, and we're basically gonna be able to just following Natsu, just seeing him do what he has to do. Like, that would be dope. That would be insane. So the fact that we didn't even get to see that just makes me go like, okay, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Why couldn't we see maybe a couple chapters, maybe 30, 40 so chapters of Natsu just going on and doing his little bucket list? Maybe he had to do something with Igneo, maybe he had to do something with dragons, maybe even had something to do with his past. Like, there's so much stuff that we didn't get to see with Natsu go ahead and trying to complete all the things on his bucket list. So that's the first thing that I want to discuss, Natsu's little bucket list, and I'm using air quotes because I don't even know what's up there. That's one of the first things that we have to see when it comes to fairy tale and the story. Now, the next thing that I gotta discuss is Lucy's bucket list. Now, yes, she even said it herself that she has a list of things that she wants to be done. But more importantly, we know that the main thing that Lucy wanted to do was go ahead and get Aquarius's key back. Now, we all know that back in the Tartarus arc, she basically sacrificed Aquarius so she could summon the Celestial Spirit King. And at that point, we all thought that really the whole Aquarius thing, we thought that she was done. We thought that she was never going to come back. But we found out later on in that arc that Celestial Spirit keys actually get reborn. Like, yes, they actually do get brought back to life. However, they're basically spawned somewhere completely different. They're spawned somewhere on the other side of the world. Like, it's basically a faraway place. And Lucy, she was going to go on a quest to retrieve Aquarius's key. Now, why hasn't that been a spin-off? Like, that would be dope too. I mean, we just imagine if we got to see Natsu go on his own little journey and separate himself, follow him for about 20, so however amount of chapters it is, and then if we get to see Lucy go out and go on her own little journey, like, that would be dope. Because usually when it comes to fairy tale, the two main characters, Natsu and Lucy, they're always together. But if we got to see them split off and go on their own little separate paths and go do whatever they want, that would be dope. And not to mention the fact that this would give a lot of people who are still Lucy haters, because yes, there are still people who doubt Lucy, saying stuff like she's weak, this, that, and the third, all this stuff. They say stuff about Lucy all the time, but if she went on her own little journey, her own little quest, it will be able to show everybody how important, how valuable Lucy actually is to the series, and show how much she's developed and all that other stuff. So me personally, Lucy going out and finding her little Aquarius's key, that is a huge point in the story. Like, that is just two main points that show you that the story is unfinished. Now, number 3, this one is kind of like a little bit, I guess you could say side story-ish, but nonetheless, the author of Fairy Tail, while he was at New York Comic Con, he said that he wanted to do a story on Acnologia's past. And it is not too late to have a story about Acnologia's past. I mean, even though Acnologia at this point is defeated, yes, he's defeated, they could still incorporate some way into showing and bringing up Acnologia's past. Maybe they actually go to Acnologia's home or wherever he was born. I know a lot of people, they think that the mountain, the little island that he was protecting, that might be where Acnologia was born. We know Gildarts went to that island. A lot of people, they speculate that Gildarts went to the island that Acnologia was just guarding, Mount Zonia, I believe, and basically that's why Acnologia attacked them. What if they would have traveled to Mount Zonia? They would have ended up finding out about Acnologia's past. Like, Acnologia's past still is something that the author of Fairy Tail wants to write, and that just shows you again that there's still stuff that the Fairy Tail story has to offer. Like, the story is still unfinished, so why would you want to leave the story on the end? Why would you want to end the story on a note there, whereas it's just unfinished? And another thing that I want to say, another reason why I believe the story is unfinished, is because at the New York Comic Con interview, Hiro Mashima, he was basically telling us about, he was still expanding the world. Like, he was still explaining how magic worked and everything. So if that's not another green light onto why the story is unfinished, I don't know what is. But yeah, overall, those are like the 3 main things, or the 3 things that fall underneath the category when it comes to the story is unfinished: Natsu's bucket list, Lucy's bucket list, and Acnologia's past. I think those 3 are the main things. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is the 100-year quest. Now, with the final chapter of Fairy Tail, it literally ended with them going on a quest. Like, literally, it ended with them saying, "We're going on a quest." Like, you can't end the series going on a quest that's basically been hyped up ever since the beginning of the series. I mean, we've seen Natsu when Lucy first looked at the little billboard for the quest, we saw that there was like 10-year quest, 50-year quest, and then like 100-year quest. And ever since then, 100-year quest, they're basically hyping up, saying, "Oh, only S rank mages can go on these. Not everybody can go on them." And really, the only person who we've seen go on in a 100-year quest was Gildarts, and Gildarts came back missing an arm from an 100-year quest. So the hype for an 100-year quest is there. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much hype there is for that. Like, he most likely, if he did run into an Acnologia on a 100-year quest, just imagine what the other 100-year quests are going to be like. That, like, they're going to be insane. And the fact that they just ended the series off on them going on a 100-year quest really just makes me angry. Like, it just makes me upset that we're this close to getting to it, but now they just straight up said, "Nope, we're going to end the series." So that is another reason why you should want Fairy Tail to continue, so we can finally see the hype around the 100-year quest. Now, the next thing that I want to discuss is a next generation. Yes, a next generation would be dope because we'll be able to see the kids. And when I say next generation, all right, it doesn't have to necessarily be a whole series. When I say next generation, I'm just talking about the next generation in general, like just seeing the kids of the main cast. And I mean, yeah, we did get to see Hiro Mashima, the author. He did draw Nashi Dragneel, and he drew Gray's child. Like, if you guys haven't seen that interview, he drew a picture of both Nashi and Gray's, and I don't even know, some people, they call him Storm Fullbuster, but that isn't like an official name, so I don't really want to call him that. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to call him Storm. So we got to see Nashi and Storm actually be drawn by Hiro Mashima, which shows that he has a character model of these 2 new characters. And if you guys didn't know, Hiro Mashima actually admitted, the author of Fairy Tail, he said that when it comes to writing new characters, the first thing that he does is draw their appearance, and then he starts working on their personalities and their powers from there. So the fact that he had the appearance in his mind, like, kind of figured out, then that just shows you that he's been brainstorming himself when it comes to this whole Nashi thing. So I definitely do gotta say that Fairy Tail Next Generation, it definitely is still in key. Like, the fact that he's able to have these 2 thoughts just written out I definitely do think that that is a point. And I know some people, they don't want a next generation, they don't want a whole new series because of series like Boruto or Dragon Ball Super. Me personally, I enjoy Dragon Ball Super, but if you use Boruto as an example, I can agree with you because Boruto, listen, all I will say is that that series has been dropped. Like, I have not been keeping up with that at all, and they don't want to see Fairy Tail become something like that, which is understandable. But just being able to see a little timescape, just give us like a 15-10 year time escape, when they got kids, and all that stuff. But if they were to give us an extra series, I would be grateful I would be like happy for that. But if we just got to see like a little timescape of the main cast growing up, that'll be dope, because we've been following them for what, almost 10 years, a decade. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want to see the group of main cast, like everybody growing up, having a family and all that stuff? Now, if they would give us a series based around the kids, that would be dope too. But I just want to see them with a major time skip. And last but not least, the thing that is the most important on why you should want the Fairy Tail series to continue is because of longer anime. I mean, we already know that Fairy Tail anime is coming back in 2018, but Fairy Tail, the anime, 2018 anime, me personally, I think it's going to be short. I think it's going to, like, if they don't add fillers, like, I'm talking about like straight up, like, raw canon content, I think they could do maybe 75, 100 episodes, somewhere around there. But if we got a continuation of a Fairy Tail series, that would mean a longer Fairy Tail anime, because we know that if they're obviously writing a Fairy Tail manga, then they're going to obviously end up adapting it into the Fairy Tail anime. So why wouldn't you guys want to see a longer Fairy Tail anime? I know a lot of people are Fairy Tail, like, they love Fairy Tail anime. A lot of people are still anime onlys, and that would be heaven for them if they got to see like an extendo of the Fairy Tail anime. Basically comes out to this: more manga equals more anime. So that's also another reason why you should want the Fairy Tail manga to continue. But overall, that's basically it for this little video. I hope I was able to persuade some of you guys who are like, oh my gosh, Fairy Tail's done, stop talking about it. I was able to persuade some of you guys on why you should want a new Fairy Tail series and why I want a new Fairy Tail series. So yeah, overall, that's basically it for this little video. Comment what you guys see down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.